So cute.
Let me move this up
Um,
a little bit. So should we start?
yeah, we can go ahead and start. So guys, whoever's already on, a lot of you already know Claudia and I. Some of you may not. So we figured we would start our very first talk fashion with Claude and Key by introducing, who we are, what made us fall in love with fashion, and a little bit about our credentials. So I'm going to go ahead and start.
Yes.
And I would say that, for me, I fell in love with fashion through magazines. And my mom is actually on this live, and she can tell you that after, like, I would use my lunch money to buy magazines. So she had a subscription to Essence, which was like the first magazine that I saw. And then after that, it was like YM. They don't have YM in 17 anymore, right? Is that
I
gone?
don't think so. I think
Yeah.
I was gonna say I haven't seen YM around, and I think
Yeah.
17. Yeah, I think they're, if anything,
They're like
everything's like
kaput.
online now.
Yeah. It's so really like Teen Vogue is like the thing for teens. But when, I was a teenager, we had YM, we had 17, and of course Vogue, which was like the staple for everything. And so those were the things for me. And just seeing those images, I just fell in love. I loved beautiful things. But I think it's funny because when I think about being a teen and like what I wanted to be and what I wanted to do, I feel like being in the fashion industry almost seemed like it was like far-fetched. I don't know
Yes.
if you felt that, but like for me, it was like that's almost like wanting to be an actor. That it was
Yeah.
like you think you're about to do what,
Yeah.
So it just seemed like so far away. So it wasn't something that I pursued. Like I went to school and studied psychology, and then I ended up getting a job as a billing analyst. Ew. No disrespect to any billing analysts, but it was not my thing. And so without going into a long story, I lived in Virginia. I ended up moving with my BFF, who may be on this live as well. Can't see you. We moved back to New York, and I was like, I got to get into fashion. It's like this burning desire inside of me. I must do it. And so I started an internship with Macy's in their buying department. And I was very surprised at how much buying is also about numbers. And I know, Claude, you did
Yes,
buying
I
on
know
the
that very
boutique
much.
side.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's like I thought like I was gonna go in and I know the hottest things, I know what everybody's gonna like,
Yes.
I'm gonna pick out the best stuff. And it was like, no, you have this budget and based on data and based on this, and you can only crunch these numbers and you're gonna get an
Yes.
answer. Like, this is not the
Yes, I was gonna
fun,
say
like
it's so much about numbers. You get the glam, but it's like a taste of it. It's not.
just a
It's
taste.
literally like in the office numbers
Yep.
and yeah,
Budgeting. You have this
budgeting.
budget and you can only buy a certain number of things. And then you have to decide what's going to be the most important to buy. You know what I mean? What's going
Yes.
to bring back the best return for the company. So I was like, well, that's not fun. And so I said, okay, buying's not for me. And then somehow I found it was like this internship website. It was called Wet Feet, which I think is so
Okay.
cute. It doesn't exist anymore, but I found a showroom internship. And that was my introduction into the wholesale side because that was another thing I didn't know of, right? So when you
Yeah.
think about fashion, you think about like models,
You think of the
maybe
runway shows, yeah, all that
runway
stuff. Yeah.
shows. You don't really think like how does clothing get into the stores?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I never knew that side of the business. And so working in that multi-line showroom is what introduced me to that. And
Yeah.
while I was there, that's when I saw this little line called Rock and Republic and fell in love with it. And I worked there for several months. Actually, I interned there several months until the showroom fell apart, whatever issues they had with the president of Rock. And I ended up landing a position at a small company called Mata, which was nice because when you work for a small company, you have to do everything, right? Like,
Absolutely. Yep. You get
yeah,
your hands in everything.
in all of it. So I went from being like sales, I was PR, I was marketing, I was shipping, I was down in the basement packing. You know, it was the worst and the
Yes.
best.
You're like, where's the glamorous stuff?
Where is the glam? You know what I mean? I was like, when am I gonna get to the good stuff? Like, stop this on TV. I'm in the basement packing. So but it was good because that is what the industry is, and that
Absolutely.
is fashion. So the 10% that I think that we get to see, you know, on television or even in the magazines is just a small percentage. You
Yeah.
know, you're an intern and you have to fix the sample room, and you're mailing samples all over the place. Or forget mailing it, you're carrying it
You're
over. You know,
carrying it. Yep.
all of that is what
Absolutely.
the industry is really all about. So I did that for a couple of years, which was really good. And then one day, while I was at a trade show in LA, I bumped into the president of Rock and Republic. And at this time, years had passed. So Rock was killing it. I mean, not
Yeah.
just Rock, but premium denim had changed at that time. Like, this is when people had money, you
Yes.
know, and everybody
They
was,
had that not $198,
and
$250.
everybody
Yeah.
was buying it.
Yeah.
Everybody was buying it, you know. Seven was hot, AG was hot, you know, all these brands had emerged, and Rock and Republic was really killing it at that time. And I was at a show, and I remember the president saw me, and she was like, "I remember you. You the intern, but you did good." You know, I loved sales, so I fell into sales, and I was like,
Yes.
boom, this is my calling. I love it. And she remembered me, and so I interviewed with them, and I ended up landing a position helping Rock to grow their international business. And
That's
that's
where
where
we met.
I met my girl, Chloe. That's when we met. And not only did I meet Carl, but hopefully there are people on this live
Yes.
from Rock and Republic that,
Yes.
because we built
Some of our best,
our best
long-lasting
times.
relationships have come from Rock
Yes.
Republic. We went through it all together.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we went through
Yes.
some highs
And
and
some
some
lows.
lows. But that's how Claudia and I we met. We met through Rock and Republic, and
Yes.
Claudia was younger than I. But I think what really attracted me to you was like your work ethic. Claudia was like a hustler. She was like a yes. You need me to do what? I want to learn. I want to grow. And
Yes.
I love that, you know, about your spirit, just even as a young person. And I was like, this girl is killing it. She's going to be big. And so we became good friends, and we worked together for years
Yes.
until we went separate ways. And I went on and I worked for some other denim brands like Joe's Jeans and Raven Denim. And then I ended up moving south to be closer to my family, and ended up working for Spanx for a couple years.
Yes, I remember that.
Yes. So I even got into the baby industry, you know, manage independent reps across the country, all of the full gamut, and actually ended up launching my own website, Key Finds, in 2013. And that was awesome. And the reason why I had launched Key Finds was because people just use it. And I know you get this too, Claude. Like,
Yeah.
people would ask me, you know, where did you get that necklace? Where'd you find those earrings? Where'd you get that jacket? And it was, you know, all those questions. And I was like, you know, it would be kind of cool if I did something where I find things that I know that I love.
Yeah.
Because that's typically how I buy. Like, I'm not a like frivolous shopper, meaning like, oh, I kind of like it, let me pick it up. Like,
Yeah.
I will, if I have it, it's because like I fell in love with it.
Same.
And
Same.
you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just, that's just what, if it's in my closet, I love it. So I started the website because I was thinking, you know, I could buy things I could sell things that people loved. And so I started Key Finds, and then some personal things happened. Years went by where I stopped. And so now, this year, I've decided to relaunch Key Finds in the middle of quarantine.
Got a lot of
Like the
time to
perfect
think,
time.
a lot of time to get stuff done.
Yeah, totally. So I was like, okay, now's the time. Friends have been asking me, when you gonna do this thing? So I'm back at it now. Yeah, which is exciting. And so one of the things I wanted to do is be more engaged, you know, with people, my customers, clients, friends, all of that. And Claude, I wanted us to do something like this because, you know, although like you and I have different styles. I think
Yeah.
we're both fearless when it comes to
Yes.
style, when it
And
comes to fashion.
I think we also have a very good, you know, I find myself always in, it's either one extremes. It's either sneakers or
Yeah,
heels. Like,
right.
it's either that like streetwear with a little bit of
Mhm.
like a twist, or, you know, I'm sort of glammed up with heels. There's not, you know, and I think that, you know, you are always a little bit, you're so much more like sleek, put together,
Thank you.
and, you know, I kind of like to push a little bit harder with like
Yeah.
what works versus like what doesn't work.
Yes.
And I feel like we definitely have that good balance.
Definitely.
Um,
Definitely. For
and
sure.
you know, for me, I fell in love with fashion at a very young age. I think maybe 13 was probably my earliest memories.
Mhm.
Um, it started, I would say, you know, what, as a dancer, we were always trying to figure out what our costumes were going to be, and I loved that portion of it. Shout out to Nikki, who's on this live, my dance teacher. But she always kind of inspired me to, you know, like, what kind of costume are you going to come up with? What's this? And you know, even just shopping with my mom every weekend, we
Yeah.
would go to shops, and, you know, we were always trying to find cool looks that would go a longer way. You know, our dollar would go a longer way. So we were at, you know, estate sales, church sales, thrift
Yeah.
stores, you know, outlets, Daffy's. When Daffy's was huge, like,
Yeah,
and, you know,
Daffy.
same thing with like fashion magazines. Like, I love looking at fashion magazines and sort of seeing everything from design to wear. So everything in between, because it's such a artistic process. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? From the thought concept all the way down to sales.
Right.
And I went to fashion school. Ended up interning for a bunch of places afterwards. Was same thing. I was a hustler. I was, you know, PR, marketing. I was handing samples to, you know, people at Vogue in the rain, and,
Yeah.
you know, handing samples over to, you know, buyers at Barney's, trying to get them to buy whatever collections it was that you know, that we were trying to sell. And it definitely made me kind of more well-rounded.
Mhm.
And eventually, after a couple years of interning, ended up doing, getting a position with Rockin' Republic. That was my first position
Mhm.
in the fashion industry.
Yeah.
And you know, did sales there. I was there for a couple years, and then decided to, I have a degree in design and merchandising. So I decided to try to test my more creative side of my skills, and wanted to work for some smaller companies to kind of have my hands on a little bit more.
Mhm.
So got to do some assistant designing, you know, fabric sourcing, you know, everything from creating their lookbooks and trying to get into all these new stores. And
Mhm.
it just, it was something that I always felt like I was trying to like figure out. I was still, I knew I wanted to be in fashion. I just didn't know
Right.
exactly which
Yeah.
division. And I think I
Mhm.
was trying to, it was like an appetizer sampler where you want to try it
Right.
all
Right.
and see what you really, you know, what really feeds your soul and what really resonates with you.
Totally.
Yeah. And I ended up relocating and had some time away from the industry. Ended up launching a vintage clothing website, because vintage clothing is something I've always been passionate about. Even when I
Yeah.
was, you know, in high school, I remember there was this vintage store called Vintage Mode, like around the corner, and I would always go in there and just get lost
Yeah.
with all their vintage picks. You know, they were one of the only vintage stores I knew about back then. And, you know, was always trying to like go to thrift stores and see like, how can I find some of these period pieces
Right.
without paying like so, you know, so much money for them, because I love
Yeah.
them. And it was something that I wanted to kind of introduce to a lot of my friends, because all the stuff, same thing with you, like I was getting a lot of compliments on stuff, and it was all
Yeah.
vintage. It was stuff that
Right.
I unfortunately couldn't redirect them to sites, you know what I mean? And it was like,
Yeah.
oh, let me just try to shop something for you. I used to bring you stuff, remember, in the showroom?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
You were like
Yes.
my stylist. Seriously.
Yes, I literally was like your personal vintage. You're like, just find me a jacket, find me a sweater,
Yep.
find me this, and you
Yep.
know.
Tell
So
me how much it is.
it was something that I always felt passionate about. So I launched the website, had it up for a couple years, loved it. Ended up getting a position as a buyer for small chain specialty stores, and just couldn't do both.
Right.
Both of them kind of required 110%. So I decided to take the site down
Yeah.
and ended up relocating here to Arizona. And it's always been in my heart. And I said to myself, like, there's no better time to relaunch it than now, because I think, one thing that I think I was always kind of torn between with fashion was sort of the whole glamorous part of it. But then there's this whole other part of it that, is not so glamorous with, the effect that it has on our environment, and, sort of, how everything is always so fast. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I did love that hustle and bustle, but a part of you wants to just take a step back and just say, like, okay, like, these are all the different ways I can be fabulous. I don't necessarily.
Oh, there you go.
I think, it's just exciting to be able to relaunch the site. So it'll be relaunched any day now. I'm going to launch official date on my Instagram. I'm shooting for one particularly this week, but I will launch it officially once I actually can get everything up. But
it's so funny that we're on the same path. You know what I mean?
Like, I was gonna say, I feel like we did it at the same time.
Yes.
I did mine in 2012. You did yours in 2013.
Yeah.
We kind of took a break from it.
Yeah.
And now
we're back.
Coming back to do something for ourselves and something that I think, ultimately, like, we've always kind of been passionate about. And ultimately, I feel like that's just the universe saying, like, no, baby girl, stay the course, you know?
Right. It's so true. It's so true.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's just like this burning thing inside. So.
Yes. So I think the series, Talk Fashion with Claudia and Key, obviously what we wanted to do was just to encourage people to take pieces that they have in their closet already and show them a bunch of different ways they can restyle them and rewear them and really maximize your closet. I think that, like, we all kind of want to go out and buy something new, for a special occasion or for this or for that. But I think the first thing that we should do is always go to our closet first, because there might already be something in there that we have that if we can just find a way to retweak it, add an accessory, add this, we can definitely get more miles out of these pieces.
Yeah. And Claudia, it's also too, about creating your own, like, individual style. Like, I know a lot of times, like, with my friends, they're like, I wouldn't have put that together. I wouldn't have, thought of that. Yeah. So I think there's, like, the goal is, you're figuring out your own individual style while using, like, what you have. You were drawn to an item for a particular reason, right? Yeah. But maybe you saw it on the mannequin and you only think you can wear it that one way because visually, like, your imagination isn't, like, thinking I can do all these other things with it.
And I think it's also, like, difficult for some people who maybe, like, don't have a fashion background, or just maybe aren't as, like, maybe are not sure what they're comfortable with. You know what I mean? They don't know, like, it's like the whole, like, you can't wear white after Labor Day. It's like some people follow those rules. Some people are like, I'm going to wear white whenever I want to wear white. So I think, hopefully what you and I can do is encourage those people to kind of push their boundaries a little bit and push their comfort zone, because there's no right or wrong way. You know what I mean? It's pretty much like just doing what you feel comfortable with. You want to add that accessory, you want to add that jacket, you want to add this, sort of go with what your personal style is,
Yeah. And also the last thing I would say that like, one thing that I know, and my friends know this about me, is like, I don't save things for special occasions. And I think that's you too. That's why you have so much more sequins in your closet. Because, I don't subscribe to the rules of fashion. That's number one. But two, I also don't save things, and I saw this meme once that said that it was like, life is the special occasion. Agreed. Right? So,
and
like,
I think that way for sequins, like, especially for sequins, because I think sequins, and I've heard other people say this before, like, oh, but sequins, I feel like that's for a special occasion. Every day we wake up and we're alive, it's a special occasion. It's a day to celebrate. It's a day to throw on sequins. It's a day to, like, show us that, like, flair, obviously within quarantine it's a little bit limiting, but, like, every day is a celebration to get up and wear something special. I agree. Like, and it's sometimes if you save stuff for special occasions, it doesn't fit anymore.
That's true too. It's so many things. Or sometimes you forget that it's in your closet and then you end up buying something else. you know, by the time
That's why we always have to go to our closet first.
yeah, you go to your car. So the series is going to be, so we're going to do like a series, and we'll talk to you guys at the end about like what you'd like to see in the Maximize Your Closet series.
Yes.
So like Claudia said, the first one is about sequins.
Yes. So sequins, I will speak to this because I feel like I've always loved sequins. I think early on, I didn't necessarily know how harmful they were to the environment. It was more just like, oh my God, they're so pretty. Anything that's shiny, like I'm all about it. And sequins initially, I mean, they have remnants of sequins from like ancient times. They found, you know, sequin versions in like King Tut's tomb. And, you know, so they date quite far back. And I think their popularity began in the sort of the 20s when, you know, some women, you know, who had the right to vote and had the right to dance freely, they were sort of wanting this way to celebrate this newfound, you know, freedom, I guess. And that's why the clothes back then were a little bit more loud. They were movers, they were shakers, there was fringe, there was sequins. And, you know, now, unfortunately, to date, a lot of the sequins are not made from those shiny metals anymore. They're made from plastic and they're not recyclable. Unfortunately, when you do buy that item for New Year's Eve or for Christmas or for, you know, that bachelorette party, like you donate it and there's no way, unless somebody buys that sequin, like there's no way to recycle those items afterwards. Nobody's going to sit there and pick apart each sequin to make sure that they get recycled. So I've always been very big. Like every time I see a secondhand sequin, I'm like, this one needs rescuing. Like I'm just gonna take it out.
Oh, is that why you have all that? You're rescuing?
Yes, I do. Like I
know why.
Like I love sequins, but I also know that like they're it's not gonna get recycled. And the longer it sits, you know, sometimes the sequins kind of like they start to break off or whatever. So like if you can rework them or find a way to save them, you know, I think that's important because then they end up in our oceans and they get broken down into microscopic plastics, which our fish eat. So it's just overall a cycle, and that's why I'm here to save the sequins. If you can buy them secondhand, that is
Claudia,
my like preference.
I had no idea this was a campaign.
Save the sequins.
But I love it.
But that's why I always feel like if you do have a sequin, like let's try to find more ways for you to wear them so they don't end up, you know, in the donation bin. Let's give you more options, more ways to get more wear out of those sequins. Like they're not just for New Year's, they're not just for weddings. Like let's wear them and get the miles from them.
Oh my God, cool.
So do you want to show us some of your sequin outfits?
I do. I was checking the comments. Like people are really, this is going to be like a new hashtag. This is going to be like a new thing.
Yes, you're right. I want to save the world by saving sequins.
All right, I'm going to back this up a little bit so you guys can just see what I'm wearing today. Can you see? I'm still like,
I can see it. Yes, your sequin blazer. Yes.
You can see my sequin. All right, I'm gonna put it back a little bit. So
I'm gonna try to get on some of these comments.
Yeah, go ahead and get in the comments, Claudia.
Yes, Ebony. Yes, where are those sequins
we're talking about? And I'm gonna show you guys a couple of. So I'm wearing a sequin blazer, which you guys can see.
Yes.
The funny thing about this is I bought this as a dress for my birthday one year, right? Okay. So I really wore it like this with like a cute bra under it, the bra like peeking out.
Yes.
And of course. And then I had some thigh-high boots. So that was originally for this.
Yes. And then it cuts off that like space, so you're not like showing off too much leg. And
no,
it's just the right amount of texture.
It's still pretty good. You know, it's not like here. So, so that's what the original look was. But obviously today I've got on graphic tee, blazer. I'm wearing liquid leggings and little booty, right? Little wedge booty, little booty action. And so we're going to show you a couple different ways. So Claudia and I made some videos
which we'll post after. Yep.
So I'm gonna run through everything really quick because then we'll post it tonight and you guys
Yes.
can check it out. So another look that I had thought about, like, which would be like my third way to wear this, was with like a maxi.
Oh,
Tie
yes,
it back,
love
tie
that.
it in the
Knotted.
bottom. We had talked about this. We could do a strappy sandal with it. You can do a flat, get some chunky jewelry, jazz it up. That's 3 ways so that I can save the sequins, right? The other item that I have is this adorable
Yes.
sequin cardigan.
Vintage cardigan. That's glitter and stitches
Vintage,
finds.
the vintage find. And this item I actually got because I went to Paris in February and I was putting together my whole Paris look because, you know, I had
Yes.
to do a look for every day. And so I called Claude up and I was like, Claude, I need to incorporate some vintage into my looks. And so I actually bought this from Glitter and Stitches Vintage. Well, so so I'll show you the looks that I put together. And like I said, we already did pictures and video of this, so you're just getting the quick
Yes.
version of it. But I paired, one of the looks was with just a basic, this is like a silk, you know, cami sort of top. And I figured it could go cute with this little animal print skirt, right? Throw your sequin cardigan over it. And then I paired it with this little belt over it. The reason why I paired it with the belt is because I feel like when you're layering on a lot of items, a lot of times you'll tend to like lose your midsection, lose your waist. So it just kind of like everything just is kind of sitting on you. So when you feel like that, like a belt is perfect for creating a waist. Like I did a post on Key Finds yesterday or day before, and I was talking about how like I found a bunch of belts at like a thrift shop. Like everybody should have these sort of like cinch your waist belts.
Absolutely, because it definitely just defines that when you're doing the layering, especially for like the fall too, when you love to layer.
Oh
you
yeah.
want to just kind of, you know.
Yeah. I just don't want to look bulky. You know what I mean? So if I'm gonna throw a cardigan on over a few things, I'm gonna put a little belt to just tighten that waist
to kind of tighten it up. Yep.
The other look that I was thinking was again like another cami, this time with a little A-line like pencil skirt. I'm figuring we all have that like black skirt in our closet, whether you wear it for work or whatever you do with it. And maybe you want it just for modesty. Like I know sometimes we're places where we can't have all of our back out and all that good stuff. But just look, I'm going to be jazzy with it. That's where I would throw the cardigan on over that. Okay, so just another idea. And then this one is a black jumper, just a plain black jumper. But actually, I wanted to show this kind of representing even like your little black dress, because we just all have that in our closet, and if you don't, you should.
Yes.
So this is like a simple black jumper, or this is your little black dress, whatever it may be.
And it just kind of upgrades your little black dresses. I feel like we all have those dresses in our closet. We have the little black dresses, we have the little black jumpers, and it's like we've worn them to so many different occasions. But if we do have those sparkly pieces, like it creates this whole other like look for it that makes it glam and makes it a little bit more special. Yeah, exactly. And so I had put it with like a chunky statement necklace, and then I also pulled out like a little scarf too, because either way you can do jazz a little scarf around your neck, wear a little chunky necklace, and it's a look. The last way I was thinking could even be like with your work outfit. So I have this shirt with the tie neck. Yes, I love some basic.
I love this shirt. And just some black trousers, again, that I know everybody has in their closet.
Yes.
And you just gonna punch it up a little bit with the cardigan.
That kind of reminds me of our like Rockin' Republic, like we're going to happy hour after work. How do we kind of glam up our work outfit to head for drinks or to head, you know, for dinner afterwards? And it's like those sequin pieces really do, like, just throw them in your bag, bring them with you to work, bring them with you anywhere, and it can transform a whole outfit.
Totally. And you want to feel like, okay, I know I've been in this thing all day, but I don't want to feel like I've been or
Yeah.
the same as I've looked all day. So I may throw something on over me that makes me
Yeah.
give me like a different look, you know, for evening, which is the great thing about layering pieces anyway. Uh,
Yes.
so, you know, sequins are just going to give you that little jazz, that bit of jazz. So
So we've been
those
getting
are
a
my
lot of
contributions.
like, I'm seeing so many comments about like sequin and sneakers, and you know that's where I live.
Here comes Claudia.
So
Oh, I can show
I'm gonna get
shoes with
right
mine.
into my outfit suggestions,
Go for it.
including one that I'm actually wearing. So this is a dress actually under here.
And I'll check out the
Um,
comments.
it's a full like sequin dress. I actually wore this, the Jersey girl in me wore it to Atlantic City. And I've worn it a couple times, but I just threw a little sweatshirt on over this, knotted it, tucked it under, you know, threw on some accessories, and I'm wearing it with sneaks.
Yes.
I posted a pic. I have a picture that I'll post afterwards of like the full outfit, just to kind of give you an example. But literally, just take your sequin dress that you already have, that you bought for New Year's, that you bought for a bachelorette party, like throw on a sweatshirt or a cute little t-shirt over it, and kind of make it into a skirt, and just kind of give it a little bit more. And I think, you know, the sneakers kind of add a little bit of like a more casual, like it makes it a little less like serious, because I feel like sequins are always like, oh my god, I can't wear a sequin, that's a little bit too out there. And it's like, let's just wear the sequins, let's just do it. So the next outfit suggestion I have is actually I feel like we all have that dress in our closet that we purchased for either like a special occasion, a wedding that we had to go to, or we were in a wedding and we have that, you know, sequin bridesmaid's dress that we probably don't know how to wear it again until we go to another wedding or until we go to a gala or somewhere fun. So this one is actually a vintage dress. It's a full long dress. And I, again, like we have videos, so we'll show you how to style everything afterwards. But I feel like let's do a little rocker tee or like graphic tee, turn it into like a sequin maxi skirt. I love that look. I love it. Turn it into a maxi skirt. Obviously the neckline, you'll have to figure it out, but you can just always pin it to kind of cover that left neckline. And then let's throw it on with a little jacket over it and just kind of like make it into a little sequin maxi skirt and throw it on with a sneaker to kind of pull it all together. Like this is something I would wear on a weekend to go grab lunch or to go to meet up with my girlfriends. You know, I think it's a great way to rewear that like dress that we got for a wedding that we may never wear again. Like let's try to get more miles out of these pieces. My next outfit suggestion is quarantine inspired. I don't know about you, but I've been living in like sweat sets and loungewear during the day in between kind of going out and doing grocery shopping and stuff. So I fear that I may never wear jeans again, but I feel like we all have those loungewear pieces and some of us can go out the house in them, but like, let's find a way to kind of upgrade them a little bit. So take that little sweat outfit. I love just adding a little sequin top.
So cute.
Like a little sequin jacket.
Love it.
It just is like open in the front, and I paired it with a little like little belt and threw it on with a little hat with some sneakers. Like these little sequin cardigans. This one actually happens to be vintage and is gonna be for sale when Glitter and Stitches launches, but it's just like a little, I just feel like it kind of adds a little bit of glam, and I feel like it is a little bit unexpected for like a sweat set, because you really don't think like sequins and sweats, like no way. But honestly, I think, you know, since loungewear and that whole athleisure wear has become so like, I mean, in the last like 5 years, it's been so trendy. Like, there are so many ways, like so many people are wearing them out for drinks and all this stuff. Like, let's let sweatsuits not be like, let's include sweat sets in that. Let's jazz them up. Let's make them special and, you know, kind of glam up. I feel like that's my like quarantine upgrade look.
I love it. I love it. Meanwhile, I thought I was doing it big if I put on like red lipstick. I'm like, this is what you're gonna get.
Throw on the red lip too. My next one is like if you have like a sequin top. So like a lot of us have like maybe some sequin like tank tops, or you know, this one happens to be vintage. But just if you have those sequin pieces, I personally love, and I've worn this so many times, just take that like distressed jean and pair it back to, you know, a super distressed jean, throw it on with a little strappy heel to kind of make it like sleek and all put together. Even if you don't have a distressed jean, like a cute boyfriend jean, just to kind of like take away some of that seriousness and make it more like relaxed. I feel like boyfriend jeans with like a cute little strappy, you know, a strappy sandal. You know, we all have those like little strappy sandals. So like just something easy and just kind of put it all together.
I love it.
Another look that I love is, you know, taking that like New Year's Eve party dress that we got, something, whatever, it's a sequin, whatever, like let's take it and figure out. So this is kind of very similar to like the look that I'm wearing now, just kind of taking a sweatshirt or even like a chunky sweater and just putting it on like a little, you know, tie it up, wear it with a fun like sneaker or a fun boot, depending on where you're going. And even also entertain, let's throw our little like white t-shirts or black t-shirts underneath it. Yes, let's throw like a white little t-shirt underneath it.
I love it.
You know, in addition to, you know, we all have like a cute little blazer we can do, like throw on a blazer and like let's tone it down a little bit. It kind of makes sequins so much more wearable. Especially when you do throw on like a t-shirt or something underneath, it makes it more like everyday. And gives us more opportunities to wear the sequins. And you know, even like taking those, like if we do have like a sequin skirt, like throw it on with a cute chunky sweater or a chunky sweatshirt and wear it like you wore, you know, the blazer with like a thigh-high boot and kind of give it a little bit more of like a, you know, sexy vibe. And, you know, I think that there's just so many different opportunities that we can just really maximize the way that we're wearing sequins and not make them so like serious. Like I throw on my sequins with Converse, I throw them on with my Pumas, with my Nikes, like, you know, kind of like how I'm doing it now with my, you know, with my sneakers. So I think just, you know, it's all about like how you said before, like let's try to like show our style and find ways that we can rewear these pieces that may only live one life in our closet. Let's give them more life.
I think the good thing that you showed, Claude, is to just like, again, incorporating stuff that people would not have thought to put with it. So like your white tank, your loungewear, your sweat. So like you own these pieces already. It's just like take the stigma out of it, of, you know, the sequins being only for super dressy special occasions, and if you mix it, pair it with something else, now it becomes an everyday look, you know. Like
and I think too, like, you know, if there's anything that we, you know, in quarantine and not necessarily having, you know, all of these gatherings and all this stuff, like when we do go out for dinners, when we do go out for whatever, like I think sequins, you can wear them, you know, during the day, you can wear them at night. Like it's all about finding a balance, and it's all about what you feel comfortable with, you know. We want to encourage people to just kind of push themselves a little bit more to the unexpected and to, you know, try to get more wear out of stuff.
You know what I love that you said when we were like talking about stuff, and you said something that I thought was like really good. You were like, what's the worst that could happen? You'll be overdressed. Like,
exactly.
You'll be the overdressed. You know, and I love that.
I say that to, you know, I have like my best friend Jess, and like, you know, so many of my friends like will reach out to me and they'll say like, oh, I feel like I'm going to be overdressed. And it's like, who cares? If that's the worst thing that happens that day is you're overdressed. Like, you know, as somebody who's worked in fashion, like we appreciate clothes. We want to celebrate clothes. They're art, you know, on our body. Like how we style them is our expression. It's our artistic form for how we feel that day. So if we wake up and we wanted to bring it and wear some sequins, like, and you're the best dressed person, well, guess what? I
know. It seems so simple, but it's It is so true, because I know I get the same thing with, my girlfriends, and it's like, well, what are you gonna wear? And I'm like, I don't know, but I don't care if I'm
Yes.
a little over the top for this event. So what?
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. So I think it's really more about the confidence that you bring.
Yeah.
You'll just step into that style, try it, and not be concerned so much about, what people at the event are gonna be thinking, who's
Thinking,
looking
yeah.
at the
Or
spot.
anywhere, or in the restaurants, or
Right.
in wherever we decide to wear it.
The
Like,
movies.
so you get those looks, who cares? You're probably never going to see those people another day in your life. Like, you pass by them and they'll say like, oh, she's super overdressed. Okay, well, that's how
So
I felt this
what?
morning. That's how I'm going to dress.
Right. It doesn't,
Yeah.
it's all good. It's all
Yes.
good. Make it a good IG outfit. Like, make
Yes.
it, take
I was going to
pictures.
say, and that's another thing, I think a lot of us too, with like the pieces that we have, sometimes if we get like photographed in them or we post it,
Yeah.
we're like, oh, I can't wear that again. Or like, I can't post it,
My
it's
sister does that.
and
My
it's like,
sister,
Tanja.
Tasha does that.
But I feel like this is such a fun way too, to say like, okay, well, you wore that royal blue dress to the wedding. Like, well, they
Yeah.
didn't see it as a maxi skirt, or they didn't see
Right.
it this way, or they didn't see it this
Right.
way, So it's like, how are you getting more miles out of these
Yeah.
clothes? Because guess what? You could post
Yeah.
that picture of you with the little like graphic tee and the jean jacket.
Yeah.
They won't know it's the same
Yeah.
dress you wear from the
Right.
wedding.
Nope. And if they do, who cares again? So yeah. But no, that's so true. Yeah. Yeah.
So let's
So
see.
yeah, let's see. So we I guess the next thing would be, we have our own ideas of some things that we want to show, but we really want you guys to tell us,
Yes.
what
My
other
husband is
things
on.
do you
Hi,
have?
Amar.
Oh, nice. Hi, Amar. What other things in your closet do you want to know how to maximize or see us try on? Like I said, Claudia's going to post the video. We'll post it on both of our IG
Yeah, so we'll kind of
channels, and
recap
then
all of the outfits that we've gone over, so you could actually like visually see us with like the shoes and how we layered it afterwards, so that way it kind of is like fresh, and you can go back to it if you have that sequin piece you want to wear.
Exactly. And then we're also going to put it on YouTube as well too. So we have a YouTube channel now, and that will be Talk Fashion with Claudia and Key, so that we will, everything that we do, we'll put it up on there. Even this live will go on there, and so you guys can go back and just check it out. If you're looking for some inspiration, you're like, what did she do again? You have these videos to kind of go back to, but we want to know, what other things. Is it the white shirt that you only wear with black pants and you only wear it to work? Claudia and I probably have 100 ways to wear it.
Let
is
us
it
know what pieces you want us to restyle, or if there's like items in your closet and you're like, damn, I only wear it this particular way. Like, maybe there's another way I could wear it. Like, let us know in the comments after this, after we post it. Let us know in the comments, and we will make our next series about those things. And also, if you felt inspired by our conversation and our fashion talk today to kind of bust out some of those sequins that you guys have in your closet and wear them to the grocery store for quarantine, grocery shopping or whatever, like, we want to see how how you guys are restyling your sequins inspired by our conversation today. Use our hashtag when you post it. Hashtag Claudia and Key spelled out, because we also want to see if we want to see how you style your sequins. That'd be good. Way we can share them, and we'll know that we inspired you guys.
Yeah, and I see a couple different things too, like color blocking, and I only wear black. I know a lot of people who only wear black and try to figure out, like, how do I incorporate color into my wardrobe? And those are things we can talk about as well too. So you guys can, DM us,
or put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments. So we will go back and like check, all of these things out. And if there's things that you want to try, please let us know.
Layering, mixing prints, adding color pop.
Yeah, mixing prints is
all of it. This is actually
to do.
This is actually a men's t-shirt that we're doing. So I'll show you how I styled it, but we'll do all of that. Yes. Keep the
Yeah.
comments coming.
Good. All of it. Perfect. So hashtag Claudia and Key if you try a sequin look. So we start off with that.
Yep.
We'll check the comments when we're done and we're gonna, talk about we'll probably do a poll, right, Claudia? We'll figure
Yeah.
out what episode 2 will be about. But we hope you guys enjoyed it today. We love this. I mean,
Yes.
it's a natural thing and it's fun. I think it's gonna help Claude and I with just keeping our creative juices flowing as we're working on our individual websites.
Yes.
And just keep our ears to the street, know what people want and we're looking for. And at the same time we get to help you guys out. So I'm
Yes. And think of
excited.
us, honestly, like from this series, like think of us as, your personal stylists. Like message us,
Mhm.
comment us, let us know. Like if you have things that you want us to like help you style or whatever, like we are here.
Oh yeah. And we would love to. This is the fun part.
Yeah,
This
we
is
love
the
that.
fun stuff. Yeah. So I guess that's it, my Claude. We
That's
survived.
it.
We were scared, y'all. We were a little nervous.
This is our first live, guys.
Ever,
We're excited.
ever.
Yes.
So
But we love each other, and it feels like
we
we're talking
do.
to our friends.
We
and
do.
It's you guys are like we're feeling all this love from you guys right now.
Yeah, it's so good.
So Shonda said, "Great job, ladies.
Oh, good.
Survived and thrived."
We survived and thrived.
Yes.
Good.
So
All right.
we'll post this on YouTube and on IGTV, and we'll post all the videos and stuff so you guys can reference. And you guys have been great.
It's so good. Oh, we forgot to say our final touch. What's our final touch when you're getting dressed?
Oh, our final touch. Okay, so it's not accessories. It's not jewelry. Confidence is the final touch.
Confidence.
So
yes.
you have to wear everything with confidence. Try to,
Own it.
be open and just embrace your style, whatever that may be, and always wear whatever you're wearing, whether it's leggings and a t-shirt or a full sequin gown. Like accessories and jewelries are not the final touch. It is confidence.
The confidence. Good.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, have a good night, and we'll see you next week.
Yes. Love you guys. Bye.
Love you too, Claude. Bye, guys.